Check one, check two. Check one, check two. How's everybody doing? It's happy Christmas. It's almost here. Just gonna wait let a few people follow. Thanks for joining me, She. You always on it. I appreciate it. Checking my stream settings. Looking good. Man, I gotta get motivated. Tired. So this is shout out to my man, Engineering Cannabis. We always talking about doing some AI stuff. So if I've been studying for my AWS, I thought I would just add that on with the artificial intelligence and the machine learning. What's up, JM? I missed the live Sunday. That's cool. Just check it out on the replay. If you got any questions that come out of it, just throw it in the comments. You know, I take care of it. So, like I said, me and engineering cannabis, I always talking about artificial intelligence, and machine learning. So, it's part of my AWS studying, right? Uh, I was surprised how many AWS services, part of this artificial intelligence and machine learning, they had available. So it's gonna be short. Let's kind of get into it. And of course, you know, man, if you got any cybersecurity questions, throw them in the chat. We can make it work. Like I said, and go over it. So let's go and get to it. Once again, welcome. That's one of my killer thumbnails, man. I'm feeling that thumbnail, man. Artificial intelligence, machine learning, AWS services. Of course, I always try to do it from a cybersecurity angle, cybersecurity perspective. So once again, if you got anything, throw it in the chat. Let's get it. AWS machine learning and artificial intelligence. Amazon continues to embrace AI, comes out when enterprise express a willingness to pilot automation technologies, transition to their business online. 52% of companies accelerated their AI adoption plans because of COVID. Came from PricewaterhouseCoopers, one of the big, firms talking about it. First poll found that 55% of the companies accelerated their AI strategies, and 67% expected to further accelerate those in 2021, which is now, right? So I think this article was a year old. Once again, artificial intelligence is here, artificial machine learning is here. It's getting incorporated into a lot of things. Where I work at, we got a big customer service, and they're looking at chatbots and how that handles machine learning, and how do you tell if a customer's upset by their voice and their inflection, right? All that's machine learning and artificial intelligence. It's just building. We're going to go over a lot of services here. I was surprised how many services there was already in, and how worldwide spread it is. So the initiatives we are announcing are designed to open up educational opportunities in machine learning and make it more widely accessible to anyone who's interested in the technology. That was AWS VP of Machine Learning, Swami Shirabaswamani. I know I messed it up. It stated, in machine learning will be one of the most transformational technologies of this generation. What's up, blind guy, his wife, and good life? Good day. Professor the chat, I thought it was for a Sunday for a second. AI everywhere. I went to a theater to watch a movie. AI sold me a ticket at the ticket stand. Shout out to Engineering Cannabis. You know, he been kind of challenging me to do one of these. So he's actually the AI. I'm calling the SME in the manosphere, So this is one reason I did it. If we are going to unlock full potential of the technology to tackle some of the world's most challenging problems, we need the best minds entering the field from all the backgrounds and walks of life, right? I like that. We need all the best minds entering the field from all backgrounds and all walk of life, right? Because, like Engineering Canada said, it's everywhere. It's in the places a lot of people don't think it's in. A lot of times when you're talking on the phone, you're actually talking to a chat box. They getting so good now. A lot of times you don't know you're talking to the chat box until it starts talking about what number you want to hit, 0 or 1, right? So, like Ken Engineering Cannabis said, it's everywhere. So, uh, AWS machine learning, artificial intelligence. Um, I think I just pulled this one out. I like it. Build your own facial recognition using services using Amazon Recognition, spelled with a K. So they have a service to actually do facial recognition for you. It's a service that makes it easy to add images analysis to your application. It's based on the same proven, highly scalable deep learning developed by Amazon computer vision scientists to analyze billions of images daily in Amazon Prime Photos. The facial recognition enables you to find similar faces in a large collection of images. Right. So over here basically is just the architecture of that. Like I said, I'll probably start playing around with it. But a lot of times too is when you go on Facebook and you highlight your picture and you type your name and it finds the rest of them, right? That's artificial intelligence behind the scene in Facebook, right? So when the sheriff and the police brings a search warrant to Facebook, they're gonna scan your picture and they're gonna type and it's gonna go through all of Facebook, finding every picture you have. So if you're holding money, doing something stupid, got a gun, right? When the police get your picture, all those pictures gonna come up. That's machine learning, right? It learns your face and it can go through every photo in Facebook, all billions of those probably in 24 hours and come back with your picture on every picture to see what you like. And two is a lot of times people don't realize, depending on how you took the picture, there's a longitude and latitude on your picture, so it knows where to find you at, right? The log 4J affect AWS, and did they patch it already? Yes, Jay. I mean, they found it in a couple of their services, and they patched it already. And two is if you're doing a platform as a service in Amazon, meaning you spinning up your own Tomcat, because Tomcat actually had that log4j in it from Java development. It'll actually scan through your environment and find that log4j and see if you patch, see if it's in the right version. And it will patch it for you too, right? So now, JM, they had it. They had it in there. If you Google it, I think I actually might got a couple examples where they were talking about patching in their environment in my slide deck. AI is the blue collar field. I'm designing ways to automate cleaning pools. Oh, that's true. Like you said, I heard you was talking about that with Tam. Like you said, how do you look at the chemicals? You know, make sure it's balanced, right? Instead of you hiring somebody, what does that look like from a, like you said, from a machine learning standpoint, right? And the AI standpoint. Once again, this is the over here. It shows you actually how to do it in Amazon thing. It shows you uploading an image to an Amazon S3 bucket. You upload the picture of the trigger. AWS Lambda is just a serverless VM that spins up. It indexes your pictures in Amazon DynamoDB family creation, right? So then at the bottom, when somebody searches for your pictures, it goes to Amazon recognition. It's gonna look up your index in a folder. It's gonna respond back. Then once it gets that index from Amazon DynamoDB, it'll send it to the person that searched for. You searching for some pictures that you know similar, or the police looking for somebody, right? Depending on how you want to do that search. So I read some hackers were able to create backdoors with Log4j that might use their back. Oh, that's true, Jay. The reason why you might not be able to use your backdoor in the future is once they find that log4j, it spins up a log4j shell, the backdoor. They know how to lock that down, but it's people don't realize there's a lot of old Java out there and figuring out what products it's embedded in because it was embedded in Oracle. I know a lot of people were scrambling for fixing up their Oracle back end, right? All their management tools were done in Java and they had Log4j in it. So a lot of people have been scrambling, patching their Oracle Enterprise Manager and their Oracle backend stuff because all that was done once again in Java, which had it for the Log4j uh, in there by default. Stay. He has an image in YouTube voice. I can build an AI and upload the AI and the cameras. Oh, facts. Now that's true. That'd be a cool way to do it. Like you said, you got the cameras, you can track in there. And I think if you look at a lot of the NSO, they actually, I think it was NCO, one of the big hacking groups out of Israel. That's what they do. They cut your phone on, they take your picture, then they can track wherever you go. Right. That was one of the hacks it done against nation states and governors and presidents. They were hacking their iPhone and Android, and when they cut on their pictures, they knew exactly where they're at because also they cut the location on their phones, right? So theoretically, you could do a drone strike on somebody, right? Because you got their location, you got their picture, you know exactly where they're at. If you're on 5G, you getting that stuff down to the millimeter location where you at. That's 100% engineering cannabis. Take it to another level. We can hit you with the drone strike. Put your location on your phone. Please help me automate my kids' children, or I still need to swing about. Shout out to the belt swingers on the planet. I'm still belting people. So no, but if you look at the Tesla bot, I think the Tesla bot's gonna get their blind guy, his wife, and their life. If you look at it, it's a humanoid. It lifts about 25 pounds. I think the Tesla bot's actually gonna start doing the kids' chores. And two is you got to think you got Rumba vacuums. You should use machine learning to figure out what it bumps into and how to map your floor. So I think it's all coming together, right? When the AWS defeats super hackers for the perform inside jobs. We getting there. We're gonna go through. They got a lot of features in there, Natasha. And I'm gonna do probably a little more than that. I'm probably gonna do an AWS class just on the security part. Because if you look at one of their certificates, it's just straight security. And I'm gonna show it. I guess I'm gonna spill the beans a little, but we're gonna get to it. I forgot AWS has a machine learning cert, so you can actually specialize, get AWS certified in machine learning. So we're gonna talk about that cert coming up too. Like I said, I forgot they had that type of cert. Like companies like all facts, Natasha, all of that. And I think machine learning, and two is we call that least privilege too a lot of times. What can a person in your organization see, and then somebody hack them, right? It should be just what they need to you do their job and not anything more. There's lights are out of my kids. Shout out to the kids. My kids, my one kid. Let me be super specific. I have one son. He's grown. I had him too young, but I didn't have any more. So I got my one. He's 34, and I want to punch him in his nose. Shout out to my son. So he be cooking though for Christmas. I'm gonna go over there and see him. So let's keep rolling. AWS release code to help reduce bias in machine learning. Me and engineering cannabis. I'm gonna give him credit for that. And just kind of talking about that is when you have algorithm bias, right? How do you view the algorithm and how you double check the algorithm to make sure it's doing what it's supposed to do, right? So that's kind of what this is talking about. AWS releases code to help reduce bias in machine learning. Open source libraries enable optimization hyperparameters to maximize performance while meeting fairness and constraints. In recent years, algorithmic bias has become an important research topic in machine learning. Sometimes because of the imbalance in training data or other factors, machine learning models will yield different results for different population of users. That's code word, right? Let's read that again. Will yield different results for different population of users, right? When we want them to treat our populations the same. So talking about this year at the IACM, Artificial Intelligence, Ethics, and Society, with our colleagues, we're presenting papers to demonstrate how to help mitigate bias simply by tuning a model hyperparameters. And my man, engineering cannabis, brought that up when we were on a panel, right? Just because you have a machine learning algorithm, right, it could be getting credit for certain peoples, right? Once again, he says it could yield different results for different populations. You could be in a poor zone and it could just redline that whole poor zone. Anybody in that red line was going to have shitty credit or couldn't get credit, right? So is that implied bias, right? So how do you double check those algorithms, those like you said, those factors and that the data you're yielding to train the machine learning and the artificial data. So how do you make sure the data is good, right? The data could be biased, right? That's going to make the outcomes be biased. So shout out to Engineering Cannabis. He said we should check those onto the blockchain to be able to review those. The question is, and Engineering Cannabis is the only one I know in the manosphere. So we got to get more people trained up. We got to get more people getting into the industry. We got to get people, like engineering cannabis, not to be scared to get into the AI machine learning game. Because we're going to look at, shout out to Tam, we're going to go over some salaries and some prices and where they pay the most in the city. But we got to get people in that domain of IT so we can make sure we don't have biases in the algorithm, right? Most algorithms have lots of bias. AI is not balancing the source data and cooperate the AI's or cooperate, right? So yeah, like engineering kind of say, so we gotta stay on top of it. So we trying to go to machine learning, artificial intelligence, so it's not biased. But if the data is biased and the person who's programming is biased, the machine learning is going to be biased, right? So it's not magic, right? You got to program it, you got to feed it data, you got to make sure it's doing the right thing. So speaking of 5G, and I turned my 5G down to 3.4G on my phone. Can they still get me? And nobody's looking for me. It don't matter if you're on 5G, 4G, 6G. If they want you, blind guy, his wife, they're gonna find you, right? So I don't think the speed of the generations making it. I think 5G actually had a few more security features in there. I need to go back and look at. I think they built in a few more security features. But you're very important, blind guy, his wife, in their life. Yeah, I'm sure that they're looking for you, right? So this is kind of more of a I want to call it society. I want to start doing more big thinking society on my channel, and we're just gonna peruse it. We're gonna get more back to the AI, but this is a thought. And I had a class, and I was talking to this in my class with little younger people, right? Amazon Ring is the largest civilian surveillance network in the United States has ever seen. Right? Ring video doorbells, Amazon's signature home security process, poses a serious threat to the free and democratic society. Not only is Ring surveillance network spreading rapidly, it is extending the reach of law enforcement into private property and expanding the surveillance of everyday life. Amazon, by Ring in 2018, it has brokered more than 1,800 partnerships with local law enforcement who can request recorded video contents from Ring users without a warrant. Ring connects around 1 in 10 police departments across the United States with the ability to access recorded contents from millions of privately owned home security cameras. Right. So, are you in a surveillance state? Are you in the police state? Right. Because if you don't know, you can get a discount on Ring if you forward your feed automatically to your local police department. Right. So, a lot of people don't know. And two is a lot of people in gated communities, they don't point their cameras on the porch, right, at the front door. They have one at the porch, and they have one with you walking up to the. I mean, you've seen it, where people walking up in the people's porch and stealing their Christmas gifts, right? But if you're walking by the house, your picture's going to end up at your local police station, right? Is that good or bad? It's weird. It's always for my classes divided by age. 40 and up doesn't care. 40 and down gets super excited with that, right? So I think that's what we got to talk about as a society and underserved people, because we're going to be the most people that's going to be surveillanced, right? So once again, Amazon Ring, 1,800 partnerships with local police officers around the country. 1 in 10. I was like, wow, that's a lot, right? 1 in 10, but that's I wouldn't say that's bad. I just think it's something we got to figure out how we want to regulate that as society. That's all. All right. This is one of the what we're talking about in machine learning. A person who scores as high risk is likely to be unemployed and to come from a neighborhood where many of his friends and family have run-ins with the law. Thanks in part to the resulting high score on the evaluation, he gets a longer jail sentence, locking him away for more years in prison where he will be surrounded by fellow criminals, which raises his likelihood that he will return to prison. He's finally released into the same poor neighborhood with the that his time with the criminal record, which makes it much harder to find a job. If he commits another crime, the recidivism model would claim another success, but in fact, the model itself contributes to a toxic cycle and helps sustain it, right? Meaning you're locked up, you get a record, you get out, you can't get a job, which means you're more likely to get locked up, right? So so it's kind of a cycle being perpetrated by the machine learning, right? So that's once again, I think engineering cannabis said that. How do we look at those models? How do we look at those language to make sure they're fair and equitable, and has the same outcome to all people, right? So let's get into some of the services, right? Once again, throw it in the chat. Right. I mean, if the source of data is corrupt, the AI will be corrupt, right? So That's what we got to make sure that the data is not skewed or tilted in one way or right. So this is the AWS certificate right there. If you go out on their website, is there AWS Certified Machine Learning. It's a specialty cert. Learn more about this certification. AWS resource can help you prepare. The credentials help organization identify, develop talent with critical skills for implementing cloud initiatives. The AWS Certified Machine Learning especially validates experience in building, training, tuning, and deploying machine learning models on AWS. Right, like I said, I forgot about that specialty. They have a lot of not a lot, but they have a few specialties. I guess I just didn't know machine learning was one of those specialties. So I've been debating. Like I said, I'm going to program more in 2022. So the natural progression from programmer a lot of times is machine learning, right? It's just a more specialized programming training. You got to have statistics and a little more math to get the training right, but that's the natural progression for programmers. And we're gonna peek at the salaries. They were up there as always. So okay, so who should take this exam? AWS Machine Learning, especially is intended for individuals who perform development or data science roles, have more than 1 year's experience developing, architecting, or running machine learning, deep learning workloads in the AWS cloud. Before you take this exam, we recommend you have at least 2 years of 2 years of hands-on experience developing, architecting, and running machine learning or deep learning workloads in the AWS cloud. Ability to express the intuition behind basic machine learning algorithms, experience performing basic hyperparameter optimization, experience with machine learning and deep learning frameworks, ability to follow model training, deployment, and operational best practices. All right. So once again, I thought that was interesting. Like I said, I forgot they had the Amazon cert on there. Hmm. I agree. We have to stop paying attention to company policies. Oh, that's true. I agree. We have to stay paying attention to company policy, security, and how to handle customer data. AI will be present to predict which felonies will likely go back to crime, and this will have a bias based on environment and many, many more facts on that engineering cannabis. I think that's what they were highlighting. That's it's weird because you can kind of easily see that done with the bias, because we know the data is gonna reinforce itself, right? So, um, I think I pulled this off Indeed. Machine learning engineers salaries, the average salary in the United States. This was December 11, 21. It was just 130. I'm gonna say just $133,355. Right, that gets you on a high value man train. Right. So two is I did. Here's where some of the top companies for machine learning engineers in the United States. I was surprised eBay came up. I never think of eBay and machine learning. No, that's true. I'm getting it right here, engineering cannabis. Give me a minute. Now I see eBay was $390,000 per year. Right, these are the top company. Wish, which was another company I wouldn't think had machine learning, was 256. Tapjoy was 217. Nextdoor was 210, and Twitter was 203. Right, these are the top machine learning engineers companies. Um, Here, of course, is the highest paying cities for machine learning and engineers in the United States. Of course, San Francisco's Bay gonna be the highest, right? The average machine learning in which San Francisco uh, salaries is crazy expensive though, right? Is 193, $485. Cupertino was 187. Straight San Francisco was 166. Santa Clara. But too, like engineering cannabis says, like the big one said, you can get up to $300,000, right? These are just averages in some of the Austin, Texas, super high, man. Shout out to Black Heights, man. I might have to go down to Austin, Texas, and do a little work. That's become one of the tech hubs and Black excellent tech hubs, in the United States. So those were just some of the from Indeed. I pulled a couple of job functions. Right. So of course, I always want to hit that and see how that's good going. Now let's AWS Machine Learning Stack. So we're just gonna hit a few high points on AWS. They had Health AI, Industrial AI, Anomaly and Detection, and we're gonna talk about this one, Code and Development. How do you have machine learning to go look for store passwords that you shouldn't be storing, keys you shouldn't be storing. Right? You can get all that automated inside CodeGuru, which is using machine learning. We're gonna hit on that. Vision and speech, text, search, chat bots are super hot. Uh, Forecasting fraud. Those were AI machine learning services. Amazon Sage, and they got a SageMaker Studio. How do you program all that? They got an IDE and a work platform, so you can get automated machine learning, Spark R, visualization, picking your algorithms, training your models, tuning. Right? We're gonna talk about that too as a service. Sage, and the frameworks and infrastructure they got in there is PyTorch, Transfer, Gluten, deep learning MI containers, right? Training them. So if AWS is not producing it, right, they're partnering with these frameworks and infrastructure to make it easier for you to do and easier for you to mine, right? So that's kind of the next step. I think of programming, right? So I think I'm gonna do a stream about if I started out now with somebody in middle school, what what would be the technologies I would get them to do to make 100,000 right when they leave high school, maybe, right? So if you can teach somebody start programming in middle school, get them programming decently in high school, then you can get them some search in AWS Machine Learning or Azure, right? I'm sure they have their stuff. So you can get a young man if he's programming and working in the evening programming and getting his skills up out of high school, he can easily make $100,000, right? If he had the proper skills and the proper training. I think Engineering Canvas said he's going to start doing machine learning and AI on his channel again. So obviously that'll be the place to go and the place to get those skills at a high level. But could you train somebody up from middle school and build their skills up so right when they get out of high school, they're doing artificial intelligence, machine learning, and robotics at such a high level because you groomed them all the way through to be able to do this, right? Facts. We got to get them some math. Start with math, stats, and linear algebra, right? But I think you can. I was doing those linear algebra. I was doing that in high school, right? So you could have somebody in high school ready when they're graduated, right, with a portfolio of skills and everything to be able to make a serious amount of money. So that's kind of been floating in my head, right? Because I'm gonna start hopefully teaching Python to middle schoolers. So how could I grow a set of people up? So you got middle school, high school, like engineering cannabis. You taking linear algebra, and some kids are taking first level calculus in high school, right? And stats. So with that technology, once again, could you have them graduate high school, moving at that level and moving at that, ready to get that big bag, right? So let's look at some of the services and this not all of them. I just cherry picked a few I liked and a few I've been working with a little bit myself. Contact Lens, a virtual call center product from Amazon, connects to transcribers' calls while simultaneously accessing them. Now features call summarization enabled by default. Contact Lens provides a transcript of all calls made via Connect Amazon Cloud Contact Service. Follow the sentiment and trends of customers' conversation in real time. Identify crucial company product feedback. You can also track the agent's compliance of customer conversation in your contact center to ensure standard greeting. Sign outside URLs help train agents and replicate successful interactions. Supervisors can conduct fast full text searches on our transcript to quickly troubleshoot customers' issues. Using real-time analytics powered by machine learning, you can also get alerted to issues during live customers call and deliver coaching agents while the call is in process, improving customer satisfaction. So I've been dealing with a lot of phone systems lately. So I've been talking to a lot of phone vendors, and a lot of them have this kind of technology built in to your call center, right? How do you see calls? And how do you use machine learning, right, to help you, like they say, with those calls to make sure that they don't go south, right? So uh, the other part of that enterprise Lex, Amazon launched the automated chatbot designer, the company service to build conversational voice and text interface. The designer uses machine learning to provide an initial chatbot design that, that the developer can then refine and create conversational expertise for customers. Amazon Lex provides you with the tools to tackle challenging deep learning problems such as speech recognition, language understanding, thorough and easy to follow managed services. Amazon Lex integrates with AWS Lambda, which you can use to easily trigger functions and execution of your backend business logic for data retrieval and update. Once built, your bot can be deployed directly to a chat platform or mobile client or IoT device. You can also provides track metrics for your bot. Amazon Lex provides a scalable, secure, easy to use end-to-end solution to build, publish, and then monitor your bot. What's up, K Business Podcast? Glad you can join me. So once again, call centers, call platforms, right? They're building this into it, right? Like I said, I was reviewing some call center as a service, right? I think one of them was built on top of Amazon. So they give you the ability as an end user to create your chat bot, deploy it out, right? So when customers call in, the first level call in the future is going to be chat bots. It's getting there, right? You're not gonna get to a human unless the chat bot fails, right? The chat bot, your basic conversation. You hear when you call your bank account. It asks you, do you want your balance? Do you want to get your ledger for your thing, and it asks you these basic calls that it should be successful up to 90% of the time, right? So once again, call centers are going to be a lot smaller, right? Because these chatbot should answer 90% of those questions, right? Another part of enterprise is text track. Amazon machine learning service that automatically extracts text, handwriting, and data from scanned documents. Now supports identification of documents, including licenses and passport, without the need for templates configuration. A user can automatically extract specific as well as imply information from IDs such as data expiration, date of birth, name, and address. Right. So you scan it in, it's just going to start pulling those things off those documents. Right. And then when it links you to that document was scanned in, right, it's gonna machine learn pull hopefully all the correct data off to put in your records, right? You won't have to hand key it. All right. So that's once again machine learning. Now, SageMaker, Amazon SageMaker Canvas is a visual no-code tool for creating machine learning models aimed at business analysts. I always hate when I try to take the programmer out. But once again, they said business analysts, you don't have to code or very little code. Build a new capability for Amazon SageMaker. Machine learning service, SageMaker Canvas provides a visual interface that accesses data from disparate sources, prepares the data for training machine learning modules. A point and click interface enables generation of accurate machine learning predictions without requiring a machine learning expert or any writing any code. SageMaker Canvas is integrated with the Amazon SageMaker Studio. Right, so they always try to cut the programmer out, right? But no code, I think said a business analyst can do it, or that might be the first level. And if once they struggle, they can give it to engineering cannabis to help them out, right? But they let you know they're trying to make it easier. They're trying to make it ubiquitous, right? Used anywhere, used by any person. Right? So SageMaker uses auto machine learning techniques to train models based on a given data set. SageMaker cleans and combines the data, creates hundreds of models, selects the best one. Individual batch predictions are generated. Use cases can be addressed such as fraud detection, churn reduction, inventory optimization. Multiple machine learning problems types are supported included binary, multi-class classification, numerical regression, and time series forecasting. Right, so you can do all that in the tool theoretically. It's supposed to make it easier. You know, they recently deployed a real chat box called GB13 using techniques known as transformers. I think I got that in here for the GB13. I'm sorry, the GPT-3 in engineering cannabis. But yeah, there's so much stuff. Just moving quick in this area, which is good, right? I think it's one of the hotter areas. Like I said, it's going to be transformational. It's going to be definitely part of the cloud. Makes it easier. All right, gives you that speed. It actually has special chips designed for doing machine learning, artificial intelligence. It's compute heavy, so they design certain chips to be able to handle that, right? So in SageMaker, you have all the features, ML powered BI Canvas, data scientist, you got ground truth, data wrangler, future store, build, train, deploy, auto deploy, jumpstart, and edge. And the machine learning ops, like DevSecOps, they got an ML ops now. You got pipelines, Kubernetes integration, and clarify. Right. So they once again give you the whole pipeline, the whole training, right, to be able to get this up, and running. Right? Make it easier. You said Gravitron 3. Is this what you were talking about, engineering cannabis? Compute Amazon also announced Gravitron 3, the next generation of custom ARM-based chips for AI interface application, soon to be available on Amazon C7G instance. The processors are optimized for workload include high-performance compute, batch processing, media encoding, scientific modeling, serving, distribute analytics, the company says. Alongside Gravitron 3, Amazon debuted Train 1, a new instance for training deep learning modules in the cloud, including model apps like image recognition, natural language processor, fraud detection, forecasting. It's powered by Trainium, an Amazon designed chip that the company last year claimed would offer the most teraflops for any machine learning instance. The teraflops translates to a chip being able to process 1 trillion calculations per second, right? So Amazon's giving you the software, giving you the no code. Now it's giving you the chip, right? So it wants you to be able to, optimize this, right? I'm sure that chip probably is going to cost a little more than a regular chip, but once again, you're gonna get in and out, so hopefully you won't be charged as much because you're doing 1 trillion calculations per second with a T. So right, let's see. So another so once again they give you the whole package, the instance, the code, the training, and the ML pipeline, right? So you to be able to build it, check it in, test it, do everything you need to master it, right? You want to master that craft so you can get to $300,000, right? So Amazon comprehend, derive, and understand valuable insights from text within documents, understand the meaning of text, uncover valuable insight for customer support tickets, products, reviews, social media feeds, and more. Improve your ability to label, organize, and document uh, by topics using customized tags and titles. Easily train and model to identify specific terms you own your data with no machine learning experience. Determine industry specific terms to relate to one another. Improve insights from the text documents. Amazon Comprehend is a natural language processor that uses machine learning to discover insights for text. Uh, so Amazon Comprehend provides key phrase extraction, sentiment analysis, entity recognition, topic model language detection, so you can easily integrate natural language processing into your app. You can simply call Amazon's Comprehend APIs application and provide location of source data. The API would output entities, key phrase, sentiment language in a JSON format, which you can use in your application. All right, so those are some of the things. Once again, analyzing data, analyzing feeds, right? Because there's gonna be so many feeds when you talk about IoT devices. Hopefully, we're getting rid of paper, but you put all those together, right? How can you get the sentiment, like you said, insight of all that documentation and all that paperwork, right? So we once again to comprehend package. It has a medical part. Of course, HIPAA eligible natural language. Health data takes free-form medical, like doctor's notes, clinical trial reports, patient records. It manually extracts the data in time-consuming format. You can automate rule-based attempt to extract that data. With a simple API called Amazon Comprehend Medical, you can quickly and accurately extract information from medical condition, medication, dosages. Right? It's in an ICD-10 format or RX norm format to build application to use like revenue cycle management, medical coding, claim validation, processing, and electrical health. Amazon Comprehend Medical is fully managed, so there's no service supervision, no machine learning modules to build, train, or deploy. You pay only for what you use, and there's no minimum fee and no upfront commitments. Oh, that's true. Engineering cannabis states natural language processing. That is your Siri, Alexa, and many, many more. True. So once again, people talk about this is a domain specific thing Amazon built for your medical hospitals, right? If you need that type of technology, extract, uh, for identify protected health information and set up for GDPR too if you need to delete stuff. So it's already compliance approved. So if a hospital or a small medical office needs this, you don't need to create it your own, right? You could just use Amazon. But like engineering cannabis says, right now you locked in the Amazon stuff. You really can't enhance it the way you want it, and you don't own that algorithm. I think Amazon gives you the base algorithm, right? So there's the thing. But if you're starting to get from the ground up to get in that area, especially in that HIPAA world, that hospital world, Amazon's got a service for you. This is Amazon Forecast. Forecast business outcome easily and accurately. Scale operations by forecasting millions of items. The same as Amazon.com. Optimize your inventory to reduce waste, improve capital utilization terms and decision, increase customer satisfaction with optimal staffing to meet varying demands. Right. So when you're a large worldwide organization, right, like Amazon, and you got these huge data centers, you forecasting how much you're going to sell, forecasting where you're going to sell it, forecasting when you're going to need it. Right. So if you use these tools, right, you upload your historical and related data to forecast. Amazon Forecast automatically inspects your data, identifies the key attributes, selects the right algorithm needed for the forecast, then trains and optimizes your customer model. Right, and you customize your forecast model. Your forecast can be visual in the console. Forecast can be exported and batched to CSV. Forecast can be retrieved using Amazon Forecast API. But you got to remember, Amazon's doing that on a worldwide feature. So if you needed that for a small company, right, for a small fee, it's going to help you. Like I said, um, inventory on time, what to sell, when to sell, if it's overage. You can sometimes put weather in there. Walmart uses weather calculation. If it's going to snow, right, they know you need boards, food, Pop Tarts, generators, right? They start separating generators from other locations to that locations because they know it's going to be a snowstorm. And right, the snowstorm is going to be 80%. Right, so they start using these technologies, right, to feed the bottom line, make more money, and like I said, they got them all set up for you. Telehealth not only uses natural language, but uses facial recognition, machine learning for monitoring vitals, and many more Amazon may not provide. That is true, engineering cannabis. Amazon's just giving you things they think that's dominating right now. Like you said, there's way more things in telehealth. Like you said, facial recognition, vitals, monitoring your vitals, right? Amazon fraud detection, right? That's the big deal now, right? With phishing, people trying to trick you over the net, steal your money, right? So fraud to help you block a lot of those frauds off of your website and control that shrinkage or whatever fraud you're getting, right? Amazon Fraud Detector detects online fraud faster with machine learning. It up to 30,000 fraud predictions. Build, deploy, and manage fraud detection models without previous machine learning language experience. Gain insight from your historical data plus 20 years of Amazon experience to construct the accurate, customized fraud detection model. start detecting fraud immediately with enhanced models with customized business rules and deploy results generated to critical prediction. Use cases identify suspicious online payments. Reduce your online payment fraud by flagging suspicious online payment transactions before the processing payment and fulfilling orders. Detect new account fraud. Accurately distinguish between legitimate and high risk account registration. So, selectively introduce additional checks such as phone or email verification. Prevent trial and loyalty program abuse. Spot accounts likely to abuse online services. Set appropriate limits on values of offers to minimize risk, right? So, of course, Amazon's been doing this for 20 years with their own data, right? And they have machine learning, artificial intelligence building their system. They're gonna let you borrow their their algorithms for just a slight fee, right? So, so that's the benefit of when you use a large company, right? Telehealth. I noticed even Walmart has more self checkouts before people fake scanning bottles of water when the storms are pending. I guess Walmart adds that to the buffer to still be side. Oh, 100% blind guy. Right. I think self checks. And two, though, if you look at Amazon's got a small store where they don't even have self checkouts. They have machine learning. I might find that before the end of the stream. You actually just put it in your bag. The cameras see what you putting in your bag. They already got your Amazon credit card. So when you put it in your bag, blind guy, his wife, and like they just check it out for you. What's before the billions? I need everybody to check out before the billions today. I forgot to stand. I'm glad you came. He's doing a 24-hour live stream. So after y'all leave mine, which I ain't gonna be much longer, I'm gonna support my man on the 24-hour live stream. I told him, oh, people got to go to bed at 10 o'clock though. I can't be up all night before the billions. I'll probably get up and pee, but I'm old, man. Let's go support before the billions. My young data scientist is gonna do a 24-hour live stream. I told him, oh, people gonna support him. I'm gonna be there. But once again, for the fraud, you can save in an Amazon S3 bucket or get the Amazon API. You build the fraud detection. These are the steps inside their fraud service. Load the data, select the algorithm, inspect the data, train and optimize the model, enrich the data, validate the performance, identify the feature, host the model. Amazon fraud detection logic combines with your model decision rules. But remember, Amazon been in business for 20 years online, so you're gonna get a lot of that data up front, right? Amazon fraud detection prediction API for real-time fraud detection called Amazon Fraud API with online event data, new account registration, right? So when somebody enrolls into your system, right, it's going to say, okay, this person is coming from Russia. A lot of times you can look at the IPs to see where they originate. Now, sometimes, of course, you get fake IPs, but most people they're not going to do that. So you can say this person coming from this region, right? Depending on too is if you've taken like social security number or birth date, it could take those up and then start looking in back end stuff to see if they're known for doing those type of things, stealing or not, right? So it might actually, like they said, you would set their credit limit a lot lower because they seem like a suspicious person. Walmart deploying two methods. One is scanning, the second is object detection and detect object in your hand. Facts right there. Engineering kind of mistake. Walmart's deploying two methods. One is the scanner, and the second is object detection that detects objects in your hand. Because if you look over each one of those scanners, there's a webcam right there, right? So like engineering cannabis said, now you can look at two things, right? They're gonna say your object, and two is if you wave it over there and it didn't scan, it's gonna put those two models together. It says he went over the scanner, but the scanner didn't detect anything. It's gonna be like security, get him, right? So let's well, Afro salute. This is awesome. Thank you for it. I appreciate it, Afro shot. I came here. There's a lot of people in this space that are killer. Engineering cannabis, before the billions, Black Heights, a Tech G, keep it techie. But I appreciate you, Afro shot. Go check in if you look in my on my YouTube channel, you will see a lot of people, that I follow that I respect on there. I got to put engineering cannabis on there. He could get his channel rolling back up, but he's definitely the AI machine learning guy in the space. Let's talk. We talked about this Amazon recognition with a K. Automates your images, video analysis with machine learning. The video is a machine learning powered video analysis service. It detects objects, scenes, celebrities, text activity. Any appropriate content from your videos is stored in an Amazon S3 bucket. Recognition visual video also provides highly accurate facial analysis, facial search capabilities to detect, analyze, and compare faces and help you understand the movement of people in your videos. Each result or detection is paired with the timestamp so you can easily create an index for a detailed video search. Navigate quickly to an interesting part of the video for further analysis. For objects, faces, text, and people, recognition video is also returning a bonding bound box coordinate, which is specific location of the detection in the frame. Uh, Recognition video also monitors live streams that you can create for Amazon Kinesis video stream to detect search faces and from face data that you provide. You can incorporate audio analysis, which is used for closed caption, profanity filtering, and streaming video transcription in your application by using Amazon Transcribe, which we talked about along with your video, right? So as your video streaming, it's looking at your face, it's looking at your time, it's taking out your sound, right, to figure out if you're cussing or not, right? And YouTube uses a lot of that stuff behind the scene, right? That's when it knows to demonetize your video or just take your video straight down, right? If you use jabs and deleted, those type of words that we replace with the real world, that's how they know stuff like that because they're using products like Amazon or recognition to split your video up, right, at massive scale. Right? So that's how it goes to your video. That's how it knows to shadow ban you, strike you down, or just take your video down altogether. Metropolis, thank you, and happy holidays to everybody too. So this is just that I just took the count of the flow. Amazon recognition, deep learning, based images, recognition service, search, verify, and organize millions of images. Right, object scene and detection. So it shows the guy riding the bike. Um, right there, it tells you 99% three that's a person, 73% that's a cyclist, bicycle 98.6, path, 6. So it's just taking your videos and it's taking each item and it's classifying up to a percentage you think is real. And the other part of that too is when you're on camera, facial analysis, right? If you're feminine, your eyes are open, you're smiling. 75% it looks at the corner of your mouth, right? It's taking a mathematical arc of your mouth to figure out if you're smiling. And two is if you're smiling and your eyes open, it's 82% chance you're happy, right? So as you look at stuff, it gets a feel of how, and shout out to Engineering Cannabis, is the marketing working on you? If I'm showing you something to buy, are you smiling or your eyes open? Right? If I think a female, I'm gonna show you a different product than I show a male, right? So it's gonna take all of that and put that in as it's trying to market to you and sell to you. Right? Face comparison, it's taking similarities, 98%. Even though he's frowning and the one smiling, they believe up to 98% it's him, right? Then that's facial comparison, facial recognition. Each one of those I'm thinking of is different files of scan, and it says these two on the right, this is the same person, the same female. They're saying her eyes are a certain distance apart. Her mouth is a certain distance apart. Her eyes, the curves of her eyes, right? It makes a mathematical mesh of your face, right? To come up with if it thinks it's you. This right here really interested me as a security guy. The sentiment now smiling, happy, angry, facts, in the journey encounter. So for me, this is the point because I actually am a security analyst. I actually set up security for a large government agency. And part of that is when people check in code, do they have bugs in their code? Did a nation state insert something into their code? How do I know what the developers are doing or working through their pipeline, right? So these are some of the machine learning things from a cybersecurity person that I'm definitely looking into and going to use in the future, right? DevOps, for me, I do Sec DevOps, right, which is the security portion of DevOps. Code Guru, an AI-powered development tool that provides recommendations for improving code quality. Amazon this week's unveiled the new Code Guru Reviewer secret detector, an automatic tool that helps developers detect secrets in source code, configuration files such as password, API keys, SSH keys, access tokens. Secret detector leverages AI to identify hard-coded secrets. Part of code review. The code is to help ensure that all new code doesn't contain secrets before being merged and deployed. There should be no hard-coded password, no hard-coded SSH keys, no hard-coded access tokens. None of that should be embedded in your code, right? So as developers or code review or manual reviews, we have to look in. I mean, that could be millions of lines of code you have to look into. So Code Guru, which is artificial intelligence, is going to look through the code to help us identify those features. Blind guy, so are you saying the AI is learning the jargon for those of us trying to slick and say coded stuff? My smile is fixed, so that got me. Yeah, they're going to figure it out because what's going to happen is um, you're going to say those words, then somebody's going to start looking at those bits of code, and everybody's going to know, but the way you said it, deleted is equal to this, right? Then they're gonna plug that in the algorithm. Then the algorithm is gonna say, if they say deleted in a person's name, there's a 90% chance it means X, right? Or the jab, if you say next to these words, it's 90% for, that shot. So yeah, they're gonna get us blind guy, his wife. We're gonna have to keep changing the jargon. Um, let's see. I can determine if you are a Democrat or Republican with sentimental analysis, such shows you pictures of Hillary, Hillary Clinton, and see your face. that's yeah, that's true engineering cannabis. I never thought that. So if that picture come up, if you frown or smile, right, then you can start, like you said, putting a value on what that is. Especially if you show them 10 different Republicans and Democrats, after a while, like you said, it's going to be up to 98% of you actually picking if you're a Republican or Democrat. That's 100% engineering cannabis. What's up, Miss Nash? I'm glad you could make it. Shout out to you. Um, I like this one once again. This is the security part of the presentation. Amazon Macy is a fully managed data security and data privacy service that uses machine learning and pattern matching to discover and protect your sensitive data. As an organization managing growing volumes of data, identifying, protecting sensitive data at scale, we become increasingly complex, expensive, and time consuming. Amazon Macy automates the discovery of sensitive data at scale and lowers the cost of protecting your data. Macy automatically provides an inventory of your Amazon S3 buckets, including a list of unencrypted buckets, publicly accessible buckets, and buckets shared with AWS accounts outside of those you have defined in your AWS org. Macy applies machine learning and pattern matching to techniques to your buckets to select, identify, and nurture to sensitive data such as personal identifiable information. PII is social security number, um, driver's license. If you got your personal name, address, and zip code, those three together could be PII because somebody could come find you. Macy alerts for finding can be searched and filtered to the AWS Management Console and sent to AWS Event Bridge for these steps. This can help you meet regulations such as Health Insurance Portability and Accountability Act, which is HIPAA, General Data Privacy Act, GDPR for privacy. You can get started with Macy for leveraging a 30-day trial for bucket evaluations, right? So people just spin up and put PI everywhere. So one of the big things you got to do is have an inventory where all the information is at, right? So if you're expecting your employees to get that 100% right, you are mistaken, right? So it makes it help by scanning your S3 buckets, and it's going to identify a high probability of that. And hopefully, with your employees, those two together give you 100%, right? You don't know if you got a security problem unless you know where all your security items are, right? So that's one of the big deals with that. And Let's see. Now I'm neutral, so so I'm 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 neutral, so engineering cannabis unless you have who cares option. I feel that's true, but I'll be able to figure out who you would likely vote for in the next election. AI see more than a human. True, facts. And two is that's what you're trying to do because when you identify your party, then two is then they're gonna try to figure out is how to get you to stay home or how to get you to come vote, depending what side you're on, right? So that's like engineering cannabis says, okay, if you're a certain political party, can I make you so upset where with disinformation, you won't leave your house, and maybe I can energize somebody on the other side to make them get out, right? So that's what engineering cannabis said. That's the next level to that. Once I identify you, like I said, how can I energize you or make you complacent where you don't want to vote, right? Amazon Macy enable one-click AWS Management Console. Automatically generates an inventory of S3 buckets and details the buckets' security levels and access. Also discover sensitive data, buckets using machine learning and pattern matching. What is the social security number? I could look at the first four digits to figure out what type of credit card you're using, or even if it's a valid credit card, right? To take action, generate the finding and send to Amazon CloudWatch events to integrate to your workflows and remediation, right? So if you're into an S3 bucket and that bucket is open to the internet, and I see there's social security numbers in there, I need to take action because social security numbers shouldn't be open up to the internet, right? Those should be coming from an internal setting. So what action am I taking? Am I gonna delete the delete the file? Am I just gonna take the S3 bucket and put it on a private subnet, right? But as a security professional, I need that knowledge so I can make a decision, right? That's best for my organization. Here's another one from the security Amazon detectives. Makes it easy to analyze, investigate, and quickly identify root cause of potential security issues or suspicious activity. That's the one we were talking about earlier, right? When you talked about the Apache Log4j, aka Apache Log4Shell, how the person comes in and they were doing LDAP calls. LDAP calls should be suspicious unless they're in certain subnets. That should be super suspicious where that's going, right? And two, those LDAP calls were outside our subnet. So LDAP calls outside our VPC should be suspicious activity, right? So detect automatically collect log data from the AWS resource, use machine learning, statistical analysis, and graph theory to build a link of sets of data that enables you to easily conduct faster and more efficient security investigation. Make sure anybody looking for me. Security investigation, the point where to fix it. But sometimes there might be a security finding where you need to dig a lot deeper and analyze more information to isolate the root cause, determine the root cause for security findings and complex processing, extract, transform, and load ETL tools and customs. Amazon Detective simplifies the process for enabling your security teams to easily investigate and quickly get to a root cause of a finding. Amazon detectives can analyze trillions of events from multiple data sources, such as your VPC Cloud, AWS CloudTrail, GuardDuty, and automatically create a unified, interactive view of your resources, user interaction between them over time. Right, so as you get that baseline over time, you start moving. So when stuff like Apache Log4j happens, that's not part of your baseline, and it should be detected. What's up, Ty? I'm glad you can make it. Right. That's part of these the tools from a cybersecurity perspective, right? And a lot of people, when you're in a large company, you have a SOC, right, a Security Operations Center, where they do stuff like this at a very large scale. But if you're small on Amazon, you can get 3 or 4 of these packages. You have an artificial intelligence SOC, machine learning SOC set up for your small VPC, right? And I'm going to double check the prices. I think it was super inexpensive, right? Depending on how many logs you take, and make sure your logs on Super Glacier so you don't get charged. But you can have, and I'm gonna talk about that in another video. With these tools we're talking about and some other stuff, how do we create a SOC for a reasonable cost for a small business? So if you at a level of a Fortune 500 company with these tools, right? But you're paying the poor man's price for that, right? Next, let's see if you and your neighbors and others sound are you in the same boat. Then I bombard you with facts right there, propaganda and target ads, bro. And I like me. You went to beat the house in Vegas. The house always wins. Facts. That's true. Like you said, the next part of that is the propaganda, targeting ads, making you so upset you don't want to vote, or trying to energize you to get you to vote, right? So there's always two sides of that. How to attack somebody, right? Engineering cannabis is 100% correct, right? With the propaganda and the targeting of the ads. So the flow is that, of course, Amazon Detective. You enable it. You get your cloud trails, your VPC logs, and your Amazon R guard duty findings, right? Automatically detect data in the graph model. AWS Security Hub, AWS Guard Duty, investigate a security finding. So once again, the big one out there is, you know what, Apache Log4j, Apache Shell. You know, that's what you're gonna turn into. And this is gonna help you find it, right? The only thing is, and shout out to Ty. I think he was asking me for logs last week. So in the next Sunday's class, I think we're talking about CloudTrail, VPC log, CloudWatch, and how it feeds out a log and for that to stack up. And get to the root cause. Like I keep saying it though, but that Apache Log4j got everybody humping. So you want these to help you find your Apache Log4j so you can get at the root cause and lock that down, right? Straight facts, Natasha. I think I got deep fakes in here somewhere. To be honest, I think one of my slides coming up. I think I mentioned deep fakes, but 100%. I got a. If you want to look through my my video catalog, I got two deep fakes that were super interesting. I'm gonna talk about it at the end of the at the end of these slides, which is not much longer. We'll talk a little bit about deepfakes. Shout out to Master IT for joining us. Go check him out. He has some killer courses. Um, Technology extraordinaire. Of course, his cost, but sometimes you got to dig in your pocket. They're reasonable to get what you need. So everybody go check him out. He does a lot. I see you a ton of shout out to your Facebook process. I see you all over on Facebook, man. I'll be liking your stuff, man. Shout out to you. That's the guard duty that we were talking about that's going to feed into detective. Guard duty is a threat detection service that continuously monitors for malicious activity and mindless behavior to protect your AWS accounts, workloads, data storage, Amazon Simple Storage Service, Amazon S3. Guard duties use several techniques to identify indicators of compromise. Once again, this is the machine learning. That's what this is all about. Anomaly detection integrates threat intelligence to identify and prioritize potential threats. So it comes on, like you said, this is your SOC. It's saying, okay, these are the movements, this is what they're attacking, what's the potential threat to my Amazon VPC or my Amazon organization, right? Guard is capable of analyzing tens of billions of events across AWS data sources, CloudTrail events, VPC flow logs, DNS queries, accurately account level threat detection. Amazon Guard Duty gives you an accurate threat detection for compromised accounts, which can be difficult to detect quickly if you are not continuously monitoring facts. Guard duty can detect signs of account compromise, such as resource access from unusual geolocation at an atypical time of the day. For programming AWS accounts, checks for unusual application programming interface calls, such as attempt to obscure activity by disabling CloudTrail logs or taking snapshots of the database from malicious IPs. So once again, this is your internal SOC, right? So once again, talking about the Apache Log4j, those should have been suspicious movements by those AWS accounts, right? If you don't have GNDI set up for LDAP, why would that account trying to make a GND LDAP call outside your VPC? That should come back as a account level threat detection, right? That's not usually done, especially in a small VPC, doing a little Java, doing a little database. It should never do that call outside, right? So hopefully, Amazon Guard Duty would detect it, and remember, it feeds it into uh, threat detection, right? A detective. You put those two together and hope, it would catch your hacker. As I put in there, your super hacker, right? So, like we've been talking about those services and putting them together, tracking, right? That's how AWS defeats super hacker, right? Facts, deepfakes, and deep learning algorithm that uses facial and voice recognition. Shout out to Sheed, always support me. I appreciate it. Again, I believe I need to be in a remedial. Nah, you fine. You're fine, Adrian. In remedial class relevant to the subject. Maybe I need some private tutoring. I got you. We're gonna make sure you get there. I'm remedial pre-so basic to it. I'm leveling up at least a level of suspicious out here in these hacker lands. Facts, facts. Everybody's getting a little better, right? Amazon Guard Duty, threat detection service continuously monitors for malicious or unauthorized behavior to protect your AWS accounts on your S3. If you click, you enable it on the console. It takes your cloud trail management, data events, VPC, DNS, automatically analyze network accounts data. Right. And two is we got to figure out how do we get our rest of our logs in here, right? This is a small set of logs, right? If I got database logs, how do I get those in there to get it analyzed, right? If I run an F5 load balancer different than the Elastic load balancer, how do I get those logs in there and reviewed too, right? So it's getting better, but there's some things that are missing we need to get in there so we can have the totality of all our logs in there so we can view them, right? So if we get attacked by a nation state, Amazon Inspector service continually scan AWS workloads. If you click, it's available. Amazon Inspector automatically discover Amazon Electric Cloud Compute, container management, Amazon Elastic Container CR at any scale, immediately starts accessing them for known vulnerabilities. Amazon Inspector calculates a highly contextualized risk score for each finding from common vulnerability exposed. It's called CVE. The score is used to prioritize the most critical vulnerabilities to improve your remediation response and efficiency. All findings are aggregated to a newly designed Amazon Inspector console and it's pushed to Amazon Security Hub and Amazon Event Spread. Vulnerabilities found in the container image is also sent to Amazon ECR for resource owners to view and remediate, right? So once again, all these products together helps you stop a super hacker, right, and making those types of moves. Let's see what we got in there. Engineering cannabis is right. So once again, Amazon Inspector automates the security vulnerability. You enable it in the console. You check your workloads, continuous scanning, maintain vulnerability database. So your vulnerability is gonna any vulnerability, a way a hacker can hack you, they're gonna put a score in your vulnerability database. So it tells you what order you need to work on them, right? The most high score means those vulnerabilities open in the wild and people are actually attacking it, right? Usually they go from a 110 score, 10 being the highest, and you need to correct it, right? So with those scores, you just start at the most vulnerable and you start working your way down, right? Two, the other thing that does that is your whole risk score as a whole organization, as you start knocking those down for different devices and different domains inside AWS, your whole company risk is going to go down. Amazon Shield Advanced for high level protection against attacks that targeting your application, EC2, load balancer, AWS Global Accelerator, Amazon Route 53. In addition, the network and transport layer that comes with standard. Shield Advanced provides additional detection and mitigation against large, sophisticated DDoS attacks. Right? DDoS attack is just somebody on the internet just sending so many packets to your AWS uh, application, you can't do any work because it's just overloading your application. Your logs are filling up, your disk space are filling up, and it's just overloading. Right? That's a DDoS attack. It could be. I was at a client; they were getting attacked by 1,000 servers around the world. True story, right? And there was just so many generated so much data. They just had to actually pull all the servers off the network. Why? Every ping, every web request was just coming in so quick. It was just filling up their logs. It was filling up their network, and it just was calling down. It was just they were getting a bill for all that, right? Because you get billed for traffic, space, right, and what you logging, right? So they just had to shut it down, right? So you need something like this to stop it. It's tailored detection based on application traffic patterns. AWS Shield Events provides customized detection based on traffic patterns, protected elastic IP address, elastic load balance, CloudFront, global accelerator of File 53, using additional regional resource specific monitoring techniques. Shield Advanced detection alerts you of a smaller DDoS attacks. Shield Advanced detects application layer attacks, HTTP flood attacks, DNS query baseline traffic attacks, and all application anomalies. Right, so paying that extra money, right, for a standard DDoS attack in those packets, right? Especially if you're trying to make all your money in 2 months during Christmas, you don't have a DDoS attack stopping your money. Right? In your opinion, what makes a person or organization an attractive target for a hacker? Um, so the question is, what makes a person or an organization attracted to targets? Um, it's really five level of hacking. There's nation states, right, where a state is trying to attack the United States. We're trying to get secrets, military secrets, advanced weapon secrets. If you are trying to if the United States is trying to, like engineering cannabis say, we try to get people elected around the world, right? A lot of people don't like that. So from a nation state, right, they're going to target certain things. The second behind that is nation. I call it economic attack. Is China has big companies that they want to excel around the world. They've got an airplane company, certain companies, so they want to steal planes. Like Boeing had $100 million plane. True story. When they went to Japan, their plane was built by the Japan because they stole their plans, right? So as a nation, they don't have to spend $100 million. They can build $100 million plane that was designed in the United States. They spent $0 on designing, right? Now they trying to sell it Boeing's plane to other planes around the world, right? So those are different. Then there's organizations that they're trying to steal your company's information, your drug detail, or I'm gonna try to lock up your system because Colonial Pipeline. That's why in the West Coast they had a gas shortage. They paid them $5 million because they know the United States can't have a gas shortage on there. So there's different levels, Adrian, too. But and as a person, they were attacking dissidents. Because if you are, if you're Russia, China, or Japan, certain dissidents you don't like, I got to use the proper word. You want them deleted, right? So you attack their phones to track them. And there's actually been drone strikes or people in Russia actually kidnapped this journalist, put him in the trunk. They never seen him again because he was writing up stuff against their regime. I'm calling the regime, not a government, right? Right, stealing intellectual properties, like you said, planes, drugs, pharmaceutical drugs. So yeah, agent. It just depends on what level you are. Um, I'm in a remedial engineering, right? In your opinion, what makes a fact stealing a fact? So I just thought I was going to end because we've been talking about this artificial intelligence in the metaverse, bridging virtual reality. We've been talking about the metaverse so much. So 5 AI use cases in the metaverse. Your accurate avatar creation. You want your avatar to have your swag and look like you, right? And two is in the metaverse that actually takes on your persona, right? So there's things why they want to make sure they get that right. Once again, digital humans, how you want to do it. And I didn't even talk about this multilingual accessibility, right? If somebody's talking Spanish and I'm talking English, right? The metaverse is going to translate that, right? So it can be understood by anybody on the planet, right? So if we're bartering now, we don't need a translator. I know they got some things you can talk on and translate. All that's going to be in a metaverse and done at speed. So when you talk in Japanese, it's going to translate it into English. When I talk in English, it's going to translate in Japanese, right? On the fly in there, right? So then that business friction will be sped up. The VR world expansion at scale. So when you talk about virtual reality, if you saw it and you were a cartoon or you're digitized stuff in a human, what does that look like in a scale? Travis Scott, Grande, and somebody else, they all did a concert it wasn't Second Life. In Fortnite, they had like 40 million people, right, doing a concert. So once you get people, if you get 40 million people paying you $3, right? So you killing it, right? Some of the challenges around AI and the metaverse, ownership for AI created content. We were just talking about this deep fakes and user transparency, fair use of AI machine learning from a legal perspective, right to use data from an AI model training, and accountability for AI's bias, right? Those are things we're talking about in here in different forms of that. But how do you get that translated in the metaverse, and how do we get that figured out so the metaverse is frictionless, right? And Max was saying earlier. And I think shout out to Engineering Cannabis. I think he was right about this, and I was wrong. By 2030, AI will lead to an estimated 15.7 trillion, or an increase in 26% in global GDP, based on PricewaterhouseCoopers. Um, Increased productivity will contribute by approximately 40% of this increase, con- while consumption will drive 60% of the GDP, right? So these technologies increase 40%, but the consumption by people using it, buying it, going to concerts in the metaverse, doing more business overseas because there's no translation barrier, right? While AI will automate some jobs, Pricewaterhouse studies found that any job lost from automation will likely be broadly offset in the long run by new jobs created as a result of the larger and wealthier economy made possible by these technologies. Furthermore, PricewaterhouseCoopers did not forecast a large technology unemployment as a result of automation. Right, I'm a pessimist. I'm thinking 40 million people about to be laid off, but I don't know. I got to do a little more research. PricewaterhouseCoopers and Engineering Cannabis is proving me wrong. So I'm usually a dark side guy. So they believe the jobs that be eliminated will be more than increased. Right, increased business in the metaverse, increased job, less friction to actually help you do business more easily. Right, to offset the job loss. So. That's what PricewaterhouseCoopers is saying. And it's the last slide. It's talking about 97 million jobs will grow in demand, and only 85 million will decrease, right? So that's a net gain for jobs, right? So I think that's it for me. Anybody got, oh, what up, family? Salute AWS, definitely making moves in this metaverse tech. About to be the go. My facts. Gadget Tools Unlimited. Glad you can join us. Yeah, that's what. And I'm too. As I do a AWS class every Sunday at 3 p.m. Eastern. It's actually for the AWS practitioner. Trying to get our AWS skills up on this channel and blend it with cybersecurity. I'm a security analyst in real life. I do federal compliance. Thursday, I'm gonna do a stream talking about federal compliance and what that looks like in AWS and on-prem, and how to make that a smooth transition. So there's the screen. I got 97 million gain and 85 million decrease. Um, so like I said, it's a net gain. Growing job, data analyst science, of course, AI, machine learning, big data, digital marketing, process automation, decreasing data entry clerks, right? We saw a lot of things that help you enter data. Administrative, accounting, books, auditors, and of course, assembly line factories and workers. Right? So you'll see, I'm gonna do a stream on Thursday for compliance, federal compliance. What does that look like in AWS? How do you get AWS to set up so you can be like they talked about in there, HIPAA compliant, FISMA, which is DoD. I do a lot of IRS work. It's called IRS Pub 1075. How do you set up your environments in AWS to do federal work and how to get the federal bag, right? That's why I'm fat. I get that federal money. Shout out to me now. That's good. I want to wish everybody a happy Christmas. Like I said, if I don't see you, come out and check me out on Thursday. Once again, it's ProfessorBlackOps at gmail.com. If you want to send me an email, if you want to chat, we can definitely set up a Zoom or something. Just send me an email if you want to get at me. Usually I talk to a few people. We can chop it up. 9 times out of 10, I usually send you to somebody. There's a lot of career development people on there. Shout out to Black Heights, that's my guy. But there's a lot of people that's excellent in this area. And I link a lot of people up. Shout out all B2B, probably a lunch I've been sending people to him for the data scientists. A lot of young guys been talking about programming, which the next level that's data scientists. And I think shout out to engineering canvas. The next level above that is machine learning, artificial intelligence, and robotics. I think that's the next step up from programming, data scientists, and get that level and get that $300,000 back. You're welcome, Natasha. I appreciate you. Thanks for coming by once again. You can reach out. I always Netropolis, man. You one of my first one day ones, man. You know you always good for me. Like I said, I think I'm doing yeah, we're doing cloud trails and logging and a couple of other AWS things on Sunday. I'll get that live set up. Um, so once again, I'm about to go check out B2B again. I'm supporting my man. Go check out Before the Billions. He's trying to do a 24-hour live stream. I love when young lions get out there. I'm old. I'm going to bed at 10, but I'm going to go support him out. Everybody, thanks for coming checking me out, man. Once again, Thursday, check me out. I'm going to put it up. We're going to do NIST 800-free federal cloud, how to get that federal cloud back, and two GRC. I'm going to talk about how to get into GRC, how to get in cybersecurity through GRC. It's a lot, I believe.